Okay, now it's time to talk Reds baseball, and welcome on in to the Rono's podcast. Today is Monday, August 18th, and today, folks, we're going to be talking to Cincinnati Reds, the Bengals, and the Colonels this year. And the Reds coming off of a series victory, not a series victory, a series loss, but a win against the Milwaukee Brewers. I think 3-2, if I'm not mistaken. 3-2 in extras again. You go to extras for the second straight day in a row. You lose 2 straight to the Brewers. The Brewers have had your number for the past every year. I mean, it's going to be a hard grind for this team if they cannot get over the hump. The Reds need to get something going. The Reds just need those wins back. And I feel like that the Mets winning last night didn't help the Reds at all. With the Reds winning last night and the Mets winning last night, I could not. And I'm like, why do you even bother trying? I mean, you're trying to make a playoff push. I know that. But it's like, what do you even do if you don't make the playoffs? Do you try to improve the team? Yes. You try to improve the team. You try to get back to that playoff push next year. But if this team makes the playoffs, which I think they should, I would love to see this team make the playoffs and dominate the rest of the season. They haven't been at 500 in a while, which is absolutely amazing. I didn't do an intro for this one. I was supposed to do an intro, but I did it last night and it got deleted apparently. So yeah. But yeah. So the Reds, they have been a great team to watch, but they have not been they didn't get swept yet. They have not been swept yet. 40 consecutive series where the Reds have not been swept. 40 of them. And I think this team is something great. I feel like that this Reds team can do something before the postseason. I feel like they can either make the playoffs or just miss out by a game, which I think would be terrible. But the Reds are the Reds. You never know. They might get swept soon. I hope they don't. And the Reds have just been an interesting team this year. Signing Terry Francona as a manager. Ellie De La Cruz having the best year of his career, but in August he's slumping now. And in July, he didn't hit a home run until the last day of July. Austin Hayes has been a really good player this year. Walked it off against the Brewers. Oh, and guess who just got released and cut from the team after breaking his leg and now is designated for assignment with a new team? Jake Fraley. Rake Fraley is gone from Cincinnati. We'll miss him. Like, the Reds will miss him. And the Reds have got to pick somebody up because they're going to need a center fielder or a right fielder. They recalled Benson, which is a good thing because Benson's not going to be on the team for a little while. So Jake Fraley's gone. Benson back up. Fraley's gone from the team, which I don't think is a very good idea by Terry Francona. But it is what it is. Terry Francona makes some good decisions. Jake Fraley, he wasn't doing the best this year. So I feel like that he did the best a lot of times last year and did a lot of times 2 years ago in 2023. But this team can surprise me and sign somebody maybe during the offseason. And I did hear Kyle Schwarber did say if the Phillies don't re-sign him, he wants to come back and play for the Cincinnati Reds. He wants to come and play for the Cincinnati Reds if the Phillies don't re-sign him, which I don't think is going to happen, but I would love to see it happen. Because the Cincinnati Reds needed a good bat, and Kyle Schwarber is literally having the best season for the Phillies as he could. And I was at a game where he hit a bomb, and I called it. And I said, if Schwarber hits a home run here, I might as well leave the stadium. and he hit a home run. I did not leave the stadium. The Snoop concert was great. But yeah, it's like, what the heck, man? If you sign Kyle Schwarber in the offseason, because he's supposed to be a free agent this season, after this season's over, if the Phillies don't re-sign him, which I think the Phillies will re-sign Kyle Schwarber, because they love to see Kyle Schwarber improve those numbers and improve as a DH, because he's only been DHing this whole time. But Miguel Andujar for the Reds, he's been a good player for the Reds ever since they got him. And Andujar hitting .350 for the Reds. And he's been driving in runs. He hit a grand slam, which I think was absolutely amazing, against, I think it was the Phillies, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was against the Phillies. And they won that game. And they won the series, which I think was absolutely amazing that they won a series against the Philadelphia Phillies, literally one of the best teams in baseball. Well, the Brewers are the best teams in baseball, the second team, best team in baseball. The Brewers have been an interesting team this year. They went on a 14-game winning streak, and then they went on a 13-game winning streak, ended in Cincinnati, and the Reds' 40 consecutive game non-sweep streak continues. But I feel like it could go for the rest of the season. If this team doesn't get swept for the rest of the season, it would be awesome. But this team is up and down. It's up and down. But I feel like the Reds can actually do something in the postseason. Did I feel like that it's going to be a fun ride? And if they make it to the postseason, I'd love to see the Reds make the postseason, which I hope they will. But it's going to be hard for the Reds to make the postseason because of the Mets. The Mets, they have been struggling this time. And they've been struggling in the month of August, especially. They went on a losing streak. I think it was like 9 or 8 games. 9-8 game losing streak. Not the best record in baseball. They had the worst record in baseball ever since then. Well, the Rockies still have the worst record in baseball. But it's like the Mets, the Reds at one point were a half game back of the Mets. And the Mets won that game. The Reds lost. Now they were 1 game back of the Mets. Now that the Mets won, we were 1 game back. We are now 1.5 games back of the Mets for the final wild card spot. And we do have the tiebreaker with the Mets because we won a series against them We won a series against them once, which was an absolute banger of a series, which I feel like it's the better one of all the many. And the Mets, Juan Soto, he feels like, to me, he's not living up to Juan Soto opportunities. He's hitting bombs. He's doing the Soto shuffle. But he hasn't been doing the Soto shuffle lately. He did it last night because the fans wanted him to. But he hasn't been doing it a lot, which kind of concerns me, which means he doesn't want to be on the Mets. But I feel like the Mets made a good signing during the offseason of getting Juan Soto. But I feel like Juan Soto has just not lived up to the hype that people are actually wanting to see from Juan Soto. But the Mets are surprising me every single day, and it's like, now what do I do? What if I'm a Reds fan and I say, we got to make the playoffs, and oh no, we don't make the playoffs because of the Mets. I'm going to be mad at the Mets. Well, the Mets are a good team. Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, they have their good bats. They have Cedric Mullins. Ryan O'Hearn's on the Padres. I forgot about that. Ryan O'Hearn on the Padres. But they have Cedric Mullins, which is absolutely an insane bat. He can hit home runs. I mean, he can do anything on the base path. But I just feel like he has more power than more contact. And it's going to be hard for a team like this Mets team to actually come up and and make that wild card spot, which I think they better not make it because of a Reds fan stake. I don't want them to be in the postseason. I want the Reds to be in the postseason, but it is what it is. As a sports podcaster, I want to see the Reds make the postseason. I really do. But it's going to be hard for this team, of course, because the Mets are a really good team, and the Mets can impress me at any point in time. And the Mets have just been a really, really good team this year. And so have the Reds. But the best team in baseball, I think, is the Detroit Tigers. The Detroit Tigers, I went to the AL instead, but the Detroit Tigers, I feel like they're the best team in baseball. Even though they lost a couple games, it's fine. But they're the best team in baseball. I just feel like they're the best team in baseball. Detroit, best team in baseball. The Yankees, they've been falling off. The Rays, they've been falling off. The Angels are the Angels. And it'll be fine. But yeah. All right. Time to move on to Colonel football. All right, moving on to Cubcast football now. It is Monday, August 18th, just so you know. Cubcast football is looking good this week. They had a good practice this week. The Colonels are looking really good. Just went over new plays this week and all that. Excuse me, I got the sniffles and I'm coughing a lot lately. But yeah, it's gonna be a good season hopefully for these Colonels if they do stuff right, and if they get on the grind, they'll be a good team. And they're facing Ryle week 1 of the season, which I think that Ryle is a good team. Ryle's a good team, but I feel like Cash Harney will be able to run the football all over that defense and throw the football all over that defense. And maybe he might score a couple of touchdowns running and passing, but we never know. Also, I would love to say that Cash Harney is number 5 in the top 19 on Fox 19 now. He's the top 5 quarterback in the greater Cincinnati area. And his favorite player and who he likes to relate himself to is Lamar Jackson, which I like Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is like one of those dual threat quarterbacks that you've been trying to, develop all these years. Lamar Jackson can do it with his legs and he can do it with his arm. He is such a great quarterback, and I love that out of Cash Harney, that he loves Lamar Jackson. Even though he's living in Cincinnati, he still likes Lamar Jackson, likes how he watches him, and I get it. Lamar Jackson is definitely a good quarterback to grow up to, but for me, it was Joe Burrow. Watching Joe just being aware of his pocket presence in the pocket, it is very fun, and he made me want to become a quarterback for God knows who. But yeah, it's like, why would you want to do that with your squad? You want to win games. I know that you do. You want to win games, Cash. I know that you do. You're going to win games this year. You're going to win a lot of games this year. I bet you that. But Cash, it's like, you're such a good quarterback. And I know that you're such a good quarterback that you can do it with your legs. You can do it with your arm. You're basically like Lamar Jackson. But I would like to say you're a different type of Lamar Jackson in a way, because of how you run. You run like you just got, I don't know, you just got shot out of a cannon. You're fast. He is fast, guys. Cash Harney is really fast. And looking at it this way, it's looking like Cash Harney is going to be a really good quarterback this year for the Colonels. And I bet you he is. And I want him to be a good quarterback this year. And being honest, this Colonels team this year might be good. This team has something special. This team might be able to make a state championship run. I would love to see that. But it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to do, because you've got a team last year that almost made it to the state championship game. You almost make it to the play. You almost make it to the state championship game. The seniors depart because they graduated. But you got to move on. I mean, Cash Harney and Dylan Guys are the best quarterback and running back duo in probably the state of Kentucky. They rushed for over 2,000 yards rushed for over 2,000 yards combined. They rushed for 1,000 yards combined. 2,000 yards rushing combined for both of them last year, which was absolutely awesome. And just seeing this team, man, this team might be able to do something special this year. I believe in that. But the Colonels need to get their work done because they have a tough test against Ryle week 1. Ryle has been a really good team, a really competitive team. They beat them last year. And now it's time for Cubcath to prove to us, are you guys built to be that team? And you guys are built to be that team. You just got to show it. We've seen it a lot. And I've seen it too. This team has something special. This team is something special to get done. And they can make it a special thing. They can make it a special run this year. I feel like they can do it. I know that they can do it. But they got to show it to us. Week 1 against Ryle at home versus Ryle, Cubcath, Park Hills. Doesn't get any better than this. High school football is back this week. Okay, Bengals football talk. Bengals are the defense sold again. I watched the Monday Night Football game for a little bit until the defense gave up that touchdown to Jaden Daniels. And I was like, the defense is going to sell us again this year. Yay! The defense, I hope they don't sell us this year. I really want Joe Burrow to do something special this year. And with this team, man, it's going to be hard to do that. This team, it's been up and down. You know, I would love to see the team maybe have some of those wins back from last year. They went 9-8 both years. Didn't make the playoffs. I know it's difficult, but the AFC is going to be a weak division this year. Well, it probably could be a strong division. The NFC is still a weak division. I could see the Bengals even making it to the playoffs again this year. I could see the Bengals making it this year. The record is going to be, like I said in my ceiling and floor predictions, it's going to be a difficult year if everything goes downhill. The defense, if Joe Burrow gets hurt, everything is going downhill. I hope Joe Burrow does not get hurt, and I really hope that Joe Burrow has something special, and I hope that he proves himself this season. Also, Trey Hendrickson talk for a second. Let me just say, Trey Hendrickson, I don't want him to be traded. Why would you want to be traded? I mean, why would you want to be traded? If you want to stay in Cincinnati, then you can stay in Cincinnati. But, it's kind of difficult to think that you've been wanting to play with this team for so long that Lisa Salters even said on ESPN, this team, he wears that logo proud. He wears that logo. He wears the Bengals logo, but I'm wearing the Reds logo tonight for the Reds and Angels who start soon. But yeah, he wears the Bengals logo proud. He wears it with dignity. He does not want to leave Cincinnati. But the guaranteed money thing is where it all goes downhill for Bengals ownership. And Bengals ownership needs to get something done. Because I want to see this pass rush this year. If Trey Hendrickson can get that pass rush going, it's going to be a good year for Cincinnati. For the Cincinnati Bengals. It's going to be a good year. I just hope that Trey Hendrickson can come back and lead this team to the postseason and Joe Burrow to lead this team to the postseason. But if Trey Hendrickson does not come back this year, I don't know what I'm going to do. He said, and then Lisa Salter says, sitting is a possibility. But I feel like that the Bengals just shouldn't, they should just re-sign him now. I feel like if you just re-sign him now, there won't be any contract mishaps. And then he starts practicing again. So get the deal done, Bengals. Where are we at? I mean, it's fine if you don't get a deal done, but the fans are going to be mad at you. The fans are going to be mad at you. That's the thing. The fans. if you listen to what the fans do, well, sometimes you do. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you don't. But the ownership is the part where the Bengals are faltering the worst. The absolute worst. I would say the Bengals should re-sign Trey Hendrickson, and they should have a good year this year. I feel it that this team is going to have a good year this year. For this team to even have Trey Hendrickson, he's got to improve. I mean, he's got to get that contract signed. If he doesn't, then what are we going to talk about in the offseason again next year? He's going to be gone to another team. He could be gone to another team. He could be gone somewhere else that we don't know where he's going to go. And yes, it is going to be hard to know where Trey Hendrickson is going to go. All right. It's time to end the show. All right, that's going to do it for our show today. I will record on Tuesday night before Wednesday to get this podcast uploaded. I know I'm a little late to the podcast and a little late. I didn't record last week because I just had school and football to deal with. And now that football is going to be back in session, it's going to be a really fun ride to see this Cubcath football team. I'd love to see this Cubcath football team grind it out till the end, but still. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Peace out, y'all. I'll see you next week. I'll actually see you on Wednesday.